Hello there. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be reading to you the next in the Oakrot series. The Oakrot series is available on Steam. It is a book that is on Steam, so it's a bit unusual. It is written by Louis Morel, or Louis Morel. I apologise, not 100% sure how to say that one. But yeah, it's a very dark and atmospheric book. It is world building, so each chapter you learn a little bit about the inhabitants of this very, very dark, very grim, kind of a post-apocalyptic world. So you do not need to have listened to them in order. It wouldn't be a bad thing if you did, but it doesn't matter if you just catch this one and then want to pick up some of the others. That's entirely fine, my darlings. Yeah, do not give this to children to listen to. There are the odd swear words in it, just peppered from time to time, and it is a little bit grim. There's some dark themes to it. Okay, this one is about the Hollows. Technically chapter number 3. So come with me and let me read to you. Okay. Hollows. Hollows are probably the most strange and confusing creature to inhabit our delightful forest, considering that they are not trying to find novel and exciting ways to kill you. They appear humanoid to a degree, though the illusion starts to break apart when you notice that their flesh looks like something between wood and baked clay. Probably their most notable feature is having a hole where their face should be, revealing an inside that is, how could you possibly have guessed, mostly hollow. Therein grow bright flowers and odd fungi spilling out of the hole where the face should be. Each hollow has its own unique combination of flowers and fungi. I don't know how to put this, but their general personality and demeanour is more than a little preoccupied. I doubt they would even look up if a planet-sized asteroid was about to hit them in the face. They go around doing frivolous tasks that seem to not have much rhyme or reason, such as getting a handful of sand from one side of the continent and then spending 12 years just to get it to the other side, and then endlessly repeating the process until the sun burns out. Or they might create odd totems and rather unearthly churches to some obscure gods. I would ask them what the hell they're doing, but considering they don't have vocal cords, getting a reply might be slightly difficult. And even if they could speak, getting them to care enough to give a reply would probably be impossible. In my opinion, they have survived just by being too boring and not threatening enough so that no other creature can be bothered to pay attention. They're made of something like wood, so they're not exactly edible by most creatures' standards. They're not remotely dangerous enough to be a threat, and don't exactly have some fantastical resource that everybody wants. They just endlessly pursue idle tasks with no rhyme or reason. I got someone to interrupt one going about their unfathomable duties. Admittedly, I didn't think he would go that far, setting on fire a church that this hollow had built, and then all that the hollow did was stand around for hours and hours until eventually wandering off, then coming back with a bunch of lumber and starting to rebuild from scratch. It's hard to tell. They don't exactly have faces, but I can't help but think that he, she, it looked a little offended. In more civilized parts of the world, some have even been taught to go around doing repetitive menial tasks. It might take forever to get the idea into their empty heads, but once it's there, they will pursue it endlessly, whether it be filling street lamps with oil or polishing a floor. This may sound neat, but in the case of the one polishing floors, the constant scrubbing eventually led to so much erosion that the house collapsed, with our hollow standing in the middle of it, looking a little confused and sad. And even when the people have long gone, the hollows will go around with their silly routines, lighting street lamps in long abandoned cities, maintaining stately homes where not a breath of human life has been for hundreds of years. They're odd, to say the least. Some say if you are infected with Oakrot, and if your will is strong enough, instead of turning into a tree, you'll turn into a hollow. Lily seems to be a walking dictionary when it comes to the insanity that is this world, and she would normally have given me a segment of notes on the creature I was currently inspecting, but it turns out she couldn't be bothered. If a thing is not trying to rip someone's face off, it doesn't exactly pique her interests. I'll leave you with this. It always confused me why they're called hollows. At first, indeed, they look like empty wooden shells, but if you have a chance to peek inside, you'll find they are filled with bright, colourful life.